ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a treat now. He's a young lad. He's just brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Derek Ayling. Let me...
Hands up if you're the oldest person in the room. It's a simple enough question. I have a vested interest for asking that question, actually. I was fortunate enough, a few months ago, I turned 60. And, it's unbelievable. I turned 60, and since then, I've never looked back. New lease of life. Life begins at 60. You don't look convinced, do you? You're right. I am talking complete bollocks. On the eve of my 60th birthday, I had a transformation. You know the Harry Enfield character, Kevin the teenager? He goes to bed on the eve of his 13th birthday and he says, "No night, mummy. No night, daddy." And next morning he comes down, "It's not fair. I do everything." But he was a bit like that with me. On my 60th birthday, my wife bought me a cup of tea in bed, and she looked at me and said, "How are you, sweetheart?" And you won't believe what I said. I can't believe it myself. I could feel my brain switching off. I could feel my mouth moving into gear. No, you won't believe what I said. I looked at her. I can't believe this. I looked at her and I said, "Mustn't grumble." The rest of the day I was saying things like, "My legs ain't getting any younger." I couldn't believe it. I've been to hell and back on these feet. And then a few days later, I went to Longleat with my oldest son. His wife was away for the weekend, so they visited us, and we drove to Longleat. And on the way to Longleat, there's this straight bit of road, 3 lanes wide, and one of those Porsche things went past, a white one. And it was doing about 90 miles an hour, and I had the same feeling again. My brain just switched off. I couldn't help it. It just did it. My mouth moved into gear. You won't believe what I said to my son. Do you know what I said? I looked at him, and I couldn't stop myself saying it. I said, "He won't get there any quicker." A serious point here. It got worse. A few days later, on a Tuesday, I do hospital radio. I have an hour show in the local hospital, and part of the job is that you have to go around the wards and you have to get requests. And I stumbled upon this ward where loads of young lads there with broken legs, broken ankles, legs stuck up, like you see them carry on, you know. And I saw this guy. He had his headphones on. He was bopping away. I thought, well, I'm bound to get a request off this bloke. So I went up to him and he took his headphones off. And I said, "Do you know who I am?" And he said, "I don't actually." He said, "But if you ask the matron, she might know." I was so pissed off. I stormed back to the studio. Stop this, I'm not doing it anymore. I stormed back to the studio and I bumped into this old lady. And she stopped me and she said, she pulled at my jacket and she looked at me and she said, "Have you got 50p for a cup of tea, dear?" And I said, "Piss off, I was only pissed off." No, I was ashamed of myself. He said, no, you don't understand," she said, "I'm concerned about you. Have you got 50p for a cup of tea?" "Do with it," she said. It gets worse. No, it gets worse. As I mentioned just now, my son and I, we rode down to Longleat. His wife was away, and we had his 2 children, my 2 grandchildren, and we drove to Longleat, and we came up to the entrance, and it had a great big sign up there: "Daytime strollers, 18 quid." And underneath, in little letters, it said, "Concessions, 12 quid." And I nudged my son. I said, "I'm a concession, you know. I've got my rail card, I can prove it." So we drove up to the pillbox, and I leaned across because he was in the driver's seat. I let me car. Sorry, I'm giving the age away. Bzzz, and the window went down. And I looked at her and I said, "I'm a concession." And she said, "Oh, fine." I said, I'm over 60. She said, "Oh, fine." I said, well, 12 quid. She said, fine. I said, don't you want to see me card? She said, look. She said, I believe you. I looked at her, I said, how dare you? I never had this trouble when I was 18. When I was 18, I'd go up to the bar and I'd say, 10 pints of red belt. Do you know the old what he's got? I just, 10 pints of, you're not 18? Show us your ID. But now, I believe you, that's all I get. I believe you. And, another thing, I can never find me bloody spectacles. And the trouble is, you need your spectacles to see your, to find your spectacles, don't you? Spend a lot of time with your bloody spectacles. I feel like the Americans or the Brits in Iraq, you know, looking for weapons of mass destruction. But I suppose the only difference is that I do know I've got some spectacles. It's frightening, isn't it, that Iraq thing, really? I mean, the Americans asking the Brits to help. Don't you think that's odd? You know, that's like Mike Tyson asking me to help him to stuff his granny around and another thing, modern technology. I can't get the hands on modern technology. I get home from work or wherever, turn my computer on, all these blackmails pop up. I spend half my time answering blackmails. These VD players, I can't get my brains around these VD players. I can get side 1 to work, I can never get side 2 to work. Did you read George Bush? He's just got an iPod. Have you read that? It's a bugger, isn't it? Because I was going to get one. And one more thing I just want to tell you about is people try and take advantage of you when you get older. They do. They try and take advantage. And if I want to tell you how the rest of the evening's going to pan out, because I'm going to tell you a joke.